Welcome back to part 2 of repainting a locomotive. Now the last time we painted this bit white and the front yellow, and that's nice and dry. Now the next thing I'm going to do is, you remember we put this masking tape there for the cant rail, and you see it goes all the way across. Now the real thing is not on the grills, so I'm just going to take that off. So I've got a nice brand new scalpel blade, and what I'm going to do here is, let's get that in shot, I'm just going to nick that there and there, and then take that piece off, because that bit's going to be black, same colour as the roof. So we'll take that off, and I'm going to do the same for this bit here. So you just want to leave that little bit in between and then leave the bit going around the cab. So nice sharp scalpel blade, just nick it like that, and then you can lift that off. And this bit, there we go. So that's where the cant rail should be. Now the next bit is, there's going to be 3 white stripes on this bit here. So I'm going to have a little look at a picture. I'm going to mask that bit with the 3 stripes. I've got some 2mm masking tape, and also I'm going to mask the front. So let me turn this over. So I'm going to mask all this yellow at the front. Now at the bottom bit there, where it goes around the lights, it curves slightly, so I'm going to stick a piece straight down, and then I'm going to use a nice sharp scalpel blade and just cut a little curve on there where that light would be. So once I've got that masked, I'll show you again. Back again. Right, so these are the 3 stripes that are going to be white, and then this is red. Now I've stuck this on here for just temporary, because there's actually an angle to this. So I've marked out where it's going to go, and then these actually come short, so like that, and they're angled. So what I'm going to do is put this there so I get the right angle, and then I can put this wherever I want it here, cut those stripes so they're all the same angle, and then there's another angle there on that end, so we'll cut them so they'll just be the 3 stripes. I've also masked off this front end for the yellow, so it's reverse masking again, so everything that you're masking off is staying. And then I'm going to take this off, and once that's off, I'll paint all of this red, all of this red, and all the front bit here red. And then once that red's dry, I can put this line back where I think it's going to be, but the other way around, so the edge will be there like that, and then paint all this grey. So I'm going to cut these, do the same on the other side, paint it all red. I'll show you what that looks like. Right, there you can see I've cut the stripes at an angle, so that will be where the white ones are. Now before you paint this, just get a cocktail stick and just rub these down and make sure that they stick in there. You'll see there's a handrail bit there. I've cut the tape, and I'm just going to press this in to that recess. And this way, if you press the edges down, you're going to get a nice sharp line when you take that off. So that's that done, and the front bit done, and we'll get all this painted red. Back in a mo. 50-50 mix, thinners and red. that's the red on. Also my hands. As you can see, it's nice and wet, that. So I'm just going to stick it in the Oasis thing, which I've lost. And then leave that to dry. And then once that's dry, I can get that grey bit on the other end. Right, this red's on and it's dry. So I'm going to mask it like this. So we're keeping all the red, and then we've masked the line there to do this grey. So I'm going to mask the other side first. I'm going to paint this grey bit on next. Welcome back. So you'll see now I've done the grey there. So the only bit of colour to do is the black. Now you'll remember that we put some masking tape there for the stripes. Now this is still wet, but so you can see what it looks like, I've actually taken them off on this side. So you can see where I've took the masking tape off there, that's your 3 white stripes. When we get them off on this side, they'll be the same. But they're still on there at the minute, so it's reverse masking. So you want to keep the colour underneath, which is the white. So when you peel those stripes off, you'll get the white stripes. So the next job, when this is dry, is to mask this area, and then we can paint the roof black, and this end, all this is black as well. So we'll mask this side. So we'll let that dry, and then we'll get the black on, and then we're pretty much getting there. Yay! Welcome back. So just sprayed the roof black and the back bit black, and now it's time to see what we got. So very carefully, just going to pull this masking tape off. So there's the grey with the white stripes that I showed you yesterday. That seems to have come out all right. We'll get the bit off there with the stripe. Now, remember when we painted it orange for the cant rail line? So there should be one just there. So just pick that off. I think this is where you'll see it more because this is against the grey. So just pick off that corner. Now, this is why I do this with masking tape, because it's a lot better than transfers. So there's the cant rail stripe. There you go. Perfect. Perfect orange stripe there. There you go. It's looking pretty good. So I'll get this side off, and then the next step on that, we're going to give it a gloss coat. Now the reason for giving it a gloss coat is because when you put the transfers on, the transfers will stick better to the gloss. So I'll get the rest of the masking tape off, and then the last thing we need to do before we gloss coat it, there's a black line round this window on the real thing, so I'll get that masked. We'll paint that black. That'll take about 5 minutes, and then into gloss. But it's not bad. It's not bad, that. Right, this is dry. It's got a nice gloss varnish on it, so we can put some transfers on. And these are going to be the transfers. And I've got a pot of Decal Fix, so I'm just going to put that on. Bit of cotton bud. Put some Decal Fix on there. Cut these out. Stick them on. And then once they're on and set, we'll give it a nice coat of matte varnish, and then we can get the handrails back in and the windows in and stuff like that. We can assemble it and give it a quick weather. Right folks, there we go, transfers on. There's not many on this one, so it didn't really take long. You can see I've a bit shiny on the end there. I've lathered it in matte varnish. and we'll let that dry, and then I can get the windows and stuff in. Now on the note of varnish, I use this stuff. Ignore the mess. It's Umbral matte coat. So just thin that down a little bit with some enamel thinners, put it through the airbrush, and this stuff literally dries in about 20 minutes or so. So once that's dry, won't take long, about 20 minutes, I'll get the windows in, the handrails back on, we'll get it back on the chassis, and we'll give it a quick weather, because these things, when I used to work these things on Project Rio, they'd come from Virgin, and Virgin had just abandoned them. They were in a pretty poor state of repair. So if you look at pictures, there's usually underframe dirt on here. It won't have the logo on because they didn't have them on when we were running them. A bit of roof dirt, and we'll get it all back together. Welcome back. It's assembly time. It's time to put all these bits, windows, handrails and stuff, back on this, because the transfers are on. There we go. It's had a coat of matte varnish. It's nice, it's finished. I'm going to use this glue and glaze to put the windows and what have you back in. And the top tip when you're putting the handrails back in here, because we've painted this, it's filled the holes slightly. So get a map pin. I did have one laying around somewhere, and just put the map pin in the holes, give it a little twist, and then the handrails will go in nice and easy. Also, when you're putting the windows in, once again, because we've glazed it, you might find that the windows don't quite fit in that aperture. So get a little file. I've got this one. And just file around the edges of the windows a little bit, and they'll stick in nice and easy. And I'm using the glue and glaze because it dries clear and you'll not fog the windows. So get all the windows back in, get it back on the chassis, and then I'm going to give it a quick weather. So I'll come back to you and I'll show you that, and hopefully should be finished in about an hour or so. Right, I found the map pin, so just stick that in that hole like that, give it a little twist. That'll just open the hole out nice and easy. And then the way that I put the glue on is just to get some of the glue and glaze, get a little cocktail stick, put the glue and glaze on the end of the cocktail stick, a little dab there, and then fit in the handrail.